Welcome to the bottom line. I'm Boost Boswell, your host. Listen, if you're new here, take a look around, and if you like it, subscribe on your way out. For those that are returning and rock with me, you know I'll rock with you. Appreciate your presence always. With that being said, let's get down to business.
I was personally disturbed many years ago. Okay, I know this man well enough to call him and say, hey, I need a favor.
Yeah.
And this might have been 10, 12 years ago that I called him and say, hey, I have a family member who I want you to hire them as an intern.
Yeah.
And I have never talked about this publicly. And he said yes. And they were flying around, one of the interns, Atlanta, Miami, whatever, on the jet, in the house, whatever. And then the internship stopped abruptly, like 3 or 4 months into it.
Yeah.
And I spoke to my family member, like, well, what happened? And they wouldn't say.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why did it end? I was say. And years later, they finally came out, and this a male,
Yeah.
and said that Puff had said, come home, stay the night with me, or the internship is over. And they said, absolutely not. He said, absolutely not. And the internship ended. But from there, I was like, oh, like this is how it goes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like many people, I sat back and I watched Trey, the journalist, depict the experience of his family member under the internship and leadership of Sean P. Diddy Combs. I would say that man is telling the truth, allegedly. I wasn't there, but I believe what he said. You know, that is quid pro quo. Favor for a favor, and it has went on since the beginning of time. The common thing that I want to highlight is this. In all these allegations, people coming out, not just this situation, but most situations in the comments section, someone always states it's always us going against each other, referencing the black race. And this is what I have to say. We have to hold people accountable. Is it going against the race when someone has done something wrong and we have let it go on far too long? That is what we need to be discussing. See, these things have been going on for a very long time. They're just now, with modern day technology, being brought to light at a quicker pace. And we hear and understand these things more relevant and frequent than we did in past times. It's not about going against the race. It's about holding people accountable no matter who you are. There is no doubt much healing that needs to go on within the black community. But I would say in order to get there, we got to quit lying and we got to hold people accountable. Something that for far too long we've looked the other way and have accepted bad behavior. No, we hold each other and ourselves just as accountable as we do anyone else. And this is how we get well. It's time for us to get real and heal. And these stories, they're going to be talked about and they're going to be dealt with. Let's start dealing with them among ourselves so that we don't pass on these bad behaviors. It really is time for us to get well. It's a truth that people don't want to talk about. It's a truth that we've lived with far too long. And it's just time up for all of that. It's time to address it because one way or another, what is in the dark will come to the light. And we see this time and time again. And it's just not right to live this way. And it's not okay to continuously excuse bad, unhealthy, toxic behavior that is ruining other people's lives. We got to quit excusing these behaviors because people have money and people have fame and popularity.